الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا ايها الذين امنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن الا وانتم مسلمون. يا ايها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحده وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والارحام ان الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا ايها الذين امنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم اعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. اما بعد فان خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة. أما بعد. All praise due to Allah, His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his family, his companions, and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his last and final messenger. My dear brothers and sisters, human being is a social creature by nature. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created us as human, He created us and created in us that need of social interaction with others. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum. O mankind, we have created you all from min dhakarin wa untha, from a single female and so male and female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. Then we made out of this couple nations and tribes so they will get to know each other. That's why human beings, that's why even the word nas in Arabic language, when you say humans, we call them nas in Arabic language. And nas تأتي من الونس والنوس وهو صوت اجتماع الناس. Nas is referred to when people gather together and talk, and that noise that you hear when people talking to each other, that's called nas. It means that human beings meant not to be living alone, meant to be within the society, to live in society. That's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam encouraged people to move to Medina, not to live in the desert. One of the goals of the Prophet sallallahu when he moved to Medina, to encourage people to switch their lifestyle from bad ones scattered all over the desert to move and to live in civil society. That's why Nabi Sallallahu used to give from the war goodies, basically the income of that comes from the government to the one who live in the society, in the city, higher than the government give him more money than the one who lived by himself in the desert. And all this is incentive for people to move to the society, to be part of the Medina society, to be part of the Medina society. Today we're living in the time of the social media. But unfortunately, even though the social media, all this technology of communication and connecting people together, I think it's still, maybe even, I'm not exaggerating what I say, it results the opposite expectation. That the social interaction between people became less and less and less and became more digital. You know, I still remember some of the old good days when I will be standing in the line in Starbucks or Tim Hortons or one of these coffee, and you will see people say, how are you doing, controller, or good morning, whatever. You know, we try to start a conversation. Today, everybody in the line just, this gadget shaking it. Only friends we have, friends which is over Facebook, not real friends. Things became more virtual, not real. And people live basically, seriously living in a virtual life, not real life. That's something we should not give up to. We should keep that social interaction with each other. With this civilization, it became hard to see someone know really his neighbors or her neighbors. How much did we interact with each other? I came from a very different maybe community in so many other communities. I don't know much about you guys in Montreal, but still we have in Texas basically where I live down south, still if someone move into our neighborhood, you'll see all the neighbors bringing gifts and pies and, welcoming the neighbor. And this, I see that, I'm so happy to see this, and I'm still in big cities. But the more you go to urban areas, the more you go to basically big cities like New York, Chicago, and I will believe the same thing in cases like Montreal, the less you see interacting between the community and the society. And a lot of people, they don't have really a happy social life, And Islam cares so much about happy social life, that you live a life and you socially successful. Even when you being a Muslim, being a practicing Muslim, you should have a successful social life with people that you are around you. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-mu'min ya'laf wa yu'laf. And he described Al-mu'min, which is the one who has the faith, iman, taqwa, is the one who will be loved and love others. He will love others and he will be loved by others. Is a person that I would like to be around. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was a role model, as an example for all of us when it comes to his social life, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What does happy social life mean? It means that you have confidence in yourself, you feel that you can interact with others in a friendly manner, and to be loved by others, to live in peace, I'll let you know. Your social life, well, the success of having or to have a happy social life, a lot of people think it depends on how other people treat you. And the reality is, it really depends on how you treat others. It's about you, it's not about others. It starts from you, That's why I would like to share with you some of the points that I found very clearly rooted in our religion, rooted in our traditions from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, to help people to have a happy social life. I'll start from the bottom up in these few minutes that I have. Number one, I think one of the most important things that you see clearly in Sharia, that to have a happy social life, you don't need to think that you need to please everybody. One of the fundamental rules that we learn from our parents and from reading the traditions and the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, you will never be able to please everyone. You just make sure that you understand that. You're not going to be able to please everyone. That should not be your goal, and that will not define how to have a happy social life. Again, we define things, but the thing that you have control over, not what other people's feeling, but a feeling of other people. You do what's supposed to please others. Be pleased or not, that's something else. They say a story of a man was walking, riding a donkey, and his son next to him. So people said, what a shame with you. You let your kid walk while you're riding the donkey. So he switched. He let the kids ride the donkey, and he started walking. People said, what a disrespect. He let his father walk and the son ride the donkey. So both, they decide to walk. So when they walk, the people said, what idiots. They have a donkey and they don't ride it. They just walk in this hot summer in the hot day. Then they decide both to ride the donkey. They said, have no mercy. Both of them on the top of the donkey. The last thing you can imagine, they will carry the donkey. So it is sad because no matter what you do, people will still criticize you. What you need to know that it's not about pleasing everybody, especially when it comes to it pleases Allah and displeases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ مَنْ طَلَبَ رِضَى النَّاسِ بِسَخَطِ اللَّهِ غَضِبَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَأَسْخَطَ عَلَيْهِ النَّاسِ. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if you seek pleasing people, by displeasing Allah, Allah will be displeased with you and people will be displeased with you. And وَمَنْ طَلَبَ رِضَى اللَّهِ وَلَوْ بِسَخَطِ النَّاسِ. And if you seek to please Allah, to do what is right, to do what's right, even though maybe some people will be not happy with your decision or the thing that you do or you said, in this case, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah will be pleased with you and people will end up being pleased with you as well. The second one is self-confidence. Self-confidence. And self-confidence is a very important element in our social life. And we as Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Always you feel that confidence. Self-confidence is not being arrogant, not looking down upon others, but to trust yourself. What do you mean better than that? That you're a believer, you're a mu'min, you're a person who is respected even by the angels, by the best creatures in the world. You are one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made the angels to prostrate themselves before your great-grandfather. You descend from Adam alayhi salam. You descended from the prophets. You follow the steps of the best of humanity. All this you have a very trusted source for your iman, for your faith, for your deed, for the information that you have, which is the Quran. All these things should make you have this confidence in yourself. Also, you don't ever lower self-confidence because of physical challenge or anything. The only thing that's going to defeat you is you be defeated from inside. From inside. And the next point is focus on your own business. And that's very important in having social life. Those who always focus on what other people's life looks like, those who always put their nose in other people's business, you don't know how many times I have to give people their nose back because I find it in my own business. So it's really to bother the person when you deal with anyone who always annoys you, always puts his nose in other people's business. I'm trying to know how much you make, how did you do this, what did you do that, did you get your house with mortgage or you get it halal way? What's your business? I mean, sometimes you feel people really became annoyed. And this part of some people's culture. Then you call you on the phone, where are you? I mean, I don't need to inform you where I'm at. But see, even little things like this, it makes a big difference in social interaction with each other. Make sure that you minimize the amount of involving your people in other people's business. Or even worse than that is to look after their mistakes and things that it is hidden from the people. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من تتبع عورات الناس تتبع الله عورته وفضحه ولو في جوف بيته. Those who look at people's mistakes to expose it, to put it online, to share it with the world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose their mistakes, their hidden mistakes, even if it's done in the middle of their house. Allah will expose it to people. So make sure that you don't ever focus on what people have in their hands and you be kind of envy them or talk about that in a negative way. Also, one of the most important advice or point to have a happy social life, to learn how to forgive. Forgiveness is something easy to be said, very hard to be dealt with. But I want to tell you something. The moment you forgive, you release a prisoner, and that prisoner is your own heart, is your own self. The moment you forgive, you set yourself free. You don't set the other person free. Because the moment you hold grudge and you never forgive the person, all that you do, you connect yourself to that person with a chain harder than the steel. Because you always have negative emotion toward that person, and you connect yourself to that person every time he was mentioned, every time you see him, every time you see her, you think of that person. The moment you forgive, it means you let yourself go. You move on in your life. And forgiveness is something very important in dealing with others. لا تأخذن بعثرة كل قوم ولكن قل هلم إلى الطريق. You have to learn how to forgive, as Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah said in this line. One of the most important things to have a happy social life, to be loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by people, is to avoid argument, destructive argument. الجدل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أنا زعيم بيت في رمض الجنة لمن ترك المراء ولو كان محقا. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم guarantee a house in Jannah for those who will avoid the argument, even though when you know sometimes your side of the argument is the correct one. You just avoid argumentation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned us. He said, فَنَسُوا حَظًّا مِمَّا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ فَأَغْرَيْنَا بَيْنَهُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ. قال ابن عباس أغرى بينهم العداوة والبغضاء بأن ألقى بينهم الجدل. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when those people before us, before the nation of Islam, before the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they neglected and said, فَنَسُوا, they have abandoned, they have rejected what Allah have advised, the guidance that came to them from Allah, Allah caused animosity and fight between themselves. قال ابن Abbas, what's the thing that they have neglected? What's the thing that they have rejected? to avoid the argument. When they start arguing with each other, that's what happens. They start fighting with one another. One of the most important things in social, happy social life, to learn how to smile. Smiling is such a beautiful tool when it comes to dealing with others. قال جبريل رضي الله عنه ما قابلت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. I never met the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم unless I found him smiling. Another Jabir said, maybe more than 100 times I attended the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. Every time I came, I visited the Prophet or I saw the Prophet, I found him smiling. I have a question for yourself. Can you see that smile in your father's face, which is the most important social interaction that you need to have? Happy social you ever want to have in your life. Have you ever always seen your wife smiling? Have you ever seen always your husband smiling? Your sisters, your friends, your colleagues, your imams, your basically the people around you. And Nabi Sallallahu was never seen unless he smiled. Smiling is such a beautiful thing. It doesn't not only make people around you happy, it makes you yourself happy. And it's sad. I travel all over the world, and I can tell you all the common things between all the communities I visit. They don't smile much. I don't know what's the deal with that. Our deen makes smiling not only good social thing, it's a charity, it's a sadaqah. It's a reward that you get. You know? And I have a good news for those who lost their smiles. That, you know what, your smile didn't go anywhere. It's just right under your nose. So you can have it. And when you ever walk into a masjid, whenever you walk in a community, whenever you walk to a coffee shop, whenever you walk to any place in the hall, and you see someone who has no smile in his or her face, give them one of yours. And you see how this will make a change. And the next one, which is also very close to this, which is very important in social interaction, what we call it, yes space. That's the Prophet ﷺ's face. And the great people in history have always this yes space. I think by yes space, it is basically a phrase it took from an incident that took place in the United States in history from Thomas Jefferson, the president, the famous president. Once he was trying to cross a river, and the river was basically flooded because of the rain. The bridge was swallowed by the river, so they have to cross by basically take the risk to cross the river. One of the soldiers who was so scared to go by himself, and he wanted someone to ride with him. So he goes to Thomas Jefferson and said, "Would you let me ride with you?" So he did. After he crossed safely, the people asked the soldier, "You put the president at risk. Why did you do that? Are you testing his will? What is the reason?" He said, "I didn't even know that he was the president. But I looked at all your guys' faces, and the only yes face I saw is his face. Everybody else, his face looks like about us. No. You know, there's a lot of people like this. Why don't you have that yes face? Why don't your family feel that it's easy to ask you things? Why do you think your friends, people around you, even when you're walking, you look at people's faces, I can't ask this person. So this is something very important for you to think about. And also one missing ingredient in the 21st century in our social interaction, which is respect. This is a beautiful word, beautiful meaning, but unfortunately it's missing a lot in our relationship. Even our children, even our kids, young kids, you see them losing this bit by bit. Go to the young generation, you see the level of respect that is basically disappearing. I'm telling you as an imam, I'm an imam master. One of the most disrespectful things I see, people come to me, give me salam, like one of my friends or one of my students next to me, okay? And somebody, and the other person won't give me salam like this. Half hand, quarter face. That's disrespect. In Nabi Sallallahu when somebody called him, he would never say, yes. No. In Nabi Sallallahu would turn his face to face the person with his chest. You will not just give him just half a face like this. You will even turn completely toward the person and give him the proper respect that he deserves. It's sad when you talk to someone and you deal with someone, then all of a sudden a person typing or text messaging or tweeting. What are you talking? Or somebody, a kid's playing with you. Respect is a very important element when it comes to dealing with each others. Finally, that I want to say this personal thing is, positive attitude is a beautiful thing. People love to hang out around people positive. They don't like to hang out around people who are always negative. Everything you talk about it, how people are bad, how people are this, how people are that. من قال هلك الناس يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هو أهلكهم. the person who said people are bad or all bad, the Prophet ﷺ said he is the worst among them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us. أقول ما سمعتم واستغفر الله لي ولكم استغفروه. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. Let me end with 2 or 3 quick points. One of the also important points when it comes to interacting with each other is how to have a happy social life. Truthfulness. Hypocrisy will not take you far. إِنَّ شَرَّ النَّاسِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ ذُو وَجْهَيْنِ. The worst among all humanity, the people who have 2 faces. Who meet people with 1 face and basically meet other with another face. In front of you with 1 face and behind you with another face. Those people are the worst of all kinds of people. Also, one of the most important elements when we deal with each other, humility. Arrogance is something terrible. If you have as much as mastery of arrogance, that can prevent you from entering Jannah. Not a half a pound, not 2 kilos of arrogance. Mastery. That can prevent the person from entering Jannah. Mu'min free. What's kibr? What's arrogant in Sharia? It is ghamdun nas, is to belittling people and to reject the truth because it didn't come from you. That's what's arrogant in Sharia and defined. And that's how the Prophet defined Sharia. Humility never was to think less of yourself. No. It's think less about yourself. And there's a huge difference between the 2 concepts. Huge difference between the 2 concepts. Finally, have a great relationship with Allah. You might be surprised. Yes, I mean that literally. Believe it or not, sense has a great impact in our social life. قالت عائشة مرة معاذ بن سفيان قالت يا معاذ ما أذنب العبد ذنبا إلا عاد حبيبه من الناس ذنبا بعد. Aisha said to Mu'awiyah once, Mu'awiyah wanted to know, did anyone commit sins? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned those who used to support him, to be good to him, praise him, to be against him. And once Sufyan al-Thawri, a great scholar of his time, somebody treated him bad. He said, I know why he did this to me. I know why this friends turned against me today. He said, why? He said, because a sin that I committed last night. A sin that I committed, I can see the result of it and how I deal with people. You all may be familiar with the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Bukhari, إِذَا أَحَبَّ اللَّهُ عَبْدًا نَادَى جِبْرِيلَ أَنِّي يُحِبُّ فُلَانًا فَأَحِبَّهُ. When Allah loves someone, He told Jibreel that I love this person, so love them. And Jibreel told the angel will love that person. And then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَيُوضَعْ لَهُ الْقَبُولُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. That acceptance will be given for that such person in the earth. People love him. People can relate to him. People feel that they can trust him. So your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those of taqwa, those of good relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا يعني محبة في الدنيا قبل الآخرة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised the muttaqeen with love, to be loved by people in this dunya and in the akhirah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who Allah love them and honor them in this dunya and in the akhirah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our sins and our parents. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تغفر لنا ذنوبنا وأن تستر عيوبنا وأن ترحم ضعفنا وأن تقوي ضعفنا يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أعلنا وما أسررنا وما أنت أعلم به منا. أنت المقدم والمؤخر لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. ألهمنا رشدنا واغفر لنا ذنبنا يا حي يا قيوم يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآله وبارك على محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وقوموا للصلاة يرحمكم الله.